Hello friends and folks, it's been quite a busy week for us, but a regular customer of mine who has also become a very good friend, Diane, brought me these two dresses just a little while ago to alter. Okay, I'll show you. Alright, these are, if you can see, look. The necklines are too close to her neck, like that. So she's asking if we can make it a little deeper. Do you want to learn how to do that? It's a little bit harder to do, but it's not impossible. As we say, keep learning, keep living. Okay, so hit on that like and subscribe button below and we can start. Okay, let's go. These are the two dresses and she wants the neckline deeper or 2 inches deeper. This is the neckline and she wants it up to here. The back is alright, so we only have to alter the depth of the neckline. And if you can notice, there's bias tape there just to hold the neckline into place. So first we will have to rip this off or take off that one. Okay, our ripper is ready, so you need a ripper to take that stitch off, right? So you need to slowly just pick it or rip it. Well, we call it ripping, isn't it? Because this is called a ripper. But you just slowly pick it because the fabric is quite sensitive. So rip it till the end there. As I said, we won't touch this one anymore because that will just complicate things, so we will rip it up to there. You rip this one as well, the under stitch. Okay, there we've ripped it. I only ripped it up to there in case you know, you would ruin the fabric, but as we are going to cut it here anyway, cut it in the middle, so I only ripped up to there because this is where we will meet up with, see, that's the seam line there on the shoulder, so this is where we will meet up with the original back neckline. So I just cut it there at the end because I don't want to mess up with the end bit anymore, nor the zip. Anyway, they won't see it in the front. Mark the middle of your front neckline or fold it, matching the left and right shoulder seams together. Then pin so that it won't move or so that you will know that the neckline will be equally curved once you've marked it or cut it. Then mark 2 inches down. You can use your tailor's ruler if you want a perfect curve. Now, I understand that there are really newbies here, so if it helps, you can baste, I don't know if you can see it, you can baste the area where you want to sew. So this is 2 inches, and that's where you're gonna sew, or you do your stitching after we cut it. Your pattern paper and fold it just enough from the base of the neck to there. We'll put the pattern paper under. Look, right? So we can trace it. For purposes of visibility, I'm gonna just use red ink, a red pen. Now where your 2 inches ends, just mark it on your pattern paper. There you go. And where the ends there as well, mark it on your pattern paper. Right. So you have the mark there and the mark there. Where is it? There, there. Okay. So recheck your pattern paper by measuring from the 2 inches up to your base of the neck, or where the seams meet. So on this one it is 7 inches. I've also rechecked the pattern paper and therefore the corrections, because it's hard to make a facing if the dress is already done. Now mark 2 inches along your curved line. So that's the facing pattern for the facing for your front neckline. Now we've cut it. So that will be, once you open it, that is your front neckline's facing. Now let's do the back facing. So if you'll notice for the back, it's not even. See, the other one is shorter and the one at the bottom is longer. It is because it's doing, it used an overlap zip. Remember our zip lessons before? I'm gonna put the link here so you will have a look at it later. These are now your back seams. Now let's try to match it with a front seam facing. So that's how the pattern of the facing would look like. Now we'll try to put it on the dress so you can have a good visual for it before we cut the fabric. Get your fabric, fold it, and put your front facing pattern on top of it, matching their center folds. So both their center folds, and then pin. So this is our front facing. You have to cut it from the edge at the bottom, but on this one here at the top, where you will sew this, stitch the seam, you have to have at least 5 centimeters of leverage, as well as there, because that's where the seams would meet. And be sure that you've marked it. I don't know if you can see the marks I've done. And also the back, you mark it so you won't be wrong where to sew it. That will be your guide for sewing, isn't it? right? This is a moment of truth. As I said, it's harder to make a facing for an already done dress or for alteration than to really make the dress from the start. Now for you, before you put the front facing and the back together, which should be the case, try to just pin it on where it should be stitched so that you know where the exact stitching would be, or if your facing really fits. So I've found out that it's longer because this area where the seams meet is there for the facing, front and the back facing. So I just marked it. Instead of there, it should be there, and the same is true with the other side. So now I know where to put the back facing, or where to sew or stitch the back facing. Okay, now I will sew the front facing and the back together on both sides. Okay, so now they're sewn together, the front and the back. You just need to iron this where you flatten that. Okay, now for easier way of stitching, we need to baste it so you can see where it's going. Okay, and now you've basted it, you know where it's going, and you know it really fits. Now we need to stitch this. Now I usually start from the middle and then overlap it, so from there to there, and then overlap it from there to there, overlap the middle part, because I find that necklines become stronger that way. Okay, let me sew it. So now look, beautiful. Yeah, all right. Can you see there? Just snips before the stitching. That will. So if you can see, I did not really include the end part of it because I don't want to disturb the zip and the buttons. So this will be fine as well. Tuck it. There, the understitch, and if you can see at the back, this is on the side of the facing, not on the main fabric. Okay, so now we've zigzag it, and therefore it looks cleaner. If there are things like this, just trim it, and therefore you will have no problem of any phrase anymore. facing that's done. It's a real facing. Another way of doing it is like what I've done here. I've folded it. I know it's a little bit bulky, so I don't know if my customer would be happy with it, but it's cleaner to look at, isn't it? I know it's just inside, but at least she's got two options. One folded facing, which may look like bias tape, and the other one was just freely hanging up. Okay, let me give it a stitch, and then once it's done, I'll show you.